Well, all those GMs probably gonna get fired because this is a money business, and the money is about Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA's narrative didn't shatter on the hardwood. It cracked in a brightly lit studio, with a Hall of Famer leaning forward, dropping every diplomatic filter, and finally saying what the front offices have been terrified you'd figure out. Lisa Leslie didn't just speak out. She pulled the curtain. And if you've been watching Caitlin Clark's rookie season feel less like a basketball run and more like a survival trial, you're about to understand exactly why. Because this wasn't an accident. It was a pattern. And the moment a legend names the sickness, the game changes forever. The moment the WNBA's carefully guarded narrative finally cracked, it didn't happen on the hardwood. It happened under studio lights, with a Hall of Famer staring directly into the camera and refusing to blink. Lisa Leslie didn't just break ranks. She detonated the entire playbook. And if you've ever wondered why Caitlin Clark's arrival felt less like a rookie season and more like a siege, listen closely. Because the league silence just got shattered by a legend who finally said what the executives have been praying you wouldn't figure out. For months, the pattern was impossible to ignore. It wasn't just basketball. It was a coordinated suffocation. Every loose ball met with a shoulder check a little too sharp. Every highlight drowned under a chorus of pundits calling her unproven, gimmicky, carried by hype. But look closer at the footage. Notice the deliberate spacing, the veteran glances in the huddle, the way officiating suddenly discovered a new emphasis on her footwork the second ratings started climbing. This wasn't competition. This was containment. When a player enters the league and instantly forces corporate sponsors, broadcasters, and casual fans to rewrite their calendars, the establishment doesn't celebrate. It panics, and panic breeds hostility. You can't fabricate that kind of tension. It bleeds through body language. It lives in the extra half step on defense. It echoes in post-game interviews that suddenly pivot from basketball to handling pressure. The media ran with it. Every missed three became a thesis on why she wasn't built for this league. Every turnover dissected like a moral failure. But they made one fatal mistake. They forgot who was actually watching. The fans didn't buy the script. They bought the jersey. They showed up in arenas that hadn't sold out in years. They flooded broadcasts until servers cracked. And suddenly, the narrative wasn't being controlled from the top floor anymore. That's when the real backlash began. Not on the court, in the front offices. The quiet strategy shifted from adjust the game to marginalize the moment. And the Team USA exclusion? That was the signal flare. A global stage handed to the chosen few, while the player moving the entire sport forward got a polite, not quite yet. But politeness doesn't stop revolutions. It fuels them. And that's when Lisa Leslie sat down on live television, dropped the filter, and finally named the virus poisoning the culture. She didn't talk about mechanics. She talked about motive, jealousy, institutional, unspoken, real. But the real bombshell wasn't just about a player. It was about the blueprint. Because what she uncovered next exposes a pattern of targeting that reaches far beyond one rookie and into the very architecture of the modern league. That ESPN interview wasn't just commentary. It was a declaration of war. Lisa Leslie didn't whisper. She didn't hedge. She looked into the camera and said what millions of fans have been screaming into their phones. This isn't basketball. This is sabotage. And the second those words left her lips, the entire WNBA ecosystem shifted. Because when a legend speaks truth to power, the power doesn't just get uncomfortable. It gets exposed. Within minutes, social media detonated. Clips of Leslie's segments spread like wildfire. Fans flooded timelines with side-by-side footage. Caitlin getting called for a carry while veterans travel untouched. The selective officiating. The media double standards. The rookie wall, narrative applied to a player breaking attendance records. The comment sections weren't just debating basketball anymore. They were auditing the league's integrity. And the veterans who had stayed silent? Suddenly, they had to choose a side. Some doubled down, dismissing Leslie as nostalgic. Others went quiet. But a few started liking fan posts. A subtle nod. A quiet alignment. The dam was cracking. Then came the backlash from the top. Anonymous league sources leaked to reporters, framing Leslie's comments as divisive and unhelpful. But here's the thing about truth. Once it's out, you can't stuff it back in a box. Every attempt to discredit her only amplified the message. Fans started connecting dots the media wouldn't touch. The sudden emphasis on physical play that just happened to target one player's style. The way certain teams seemed to get extra motivation when facing Indiana. The narrative that Caitlin's success was bad for the game because it overshadowed others. It wasn't competition. It was protectionism. And Lisa Leslie just handed the audience the key to see it. But the most explosive moment wasn't on TV. It was in the locker room. Sources close to the Fever revealed that after Leslie's interview, the team's energy shifted. Not anger. Focus. A collective realization. They're not going to give it to us. We have to take it. Caitlin didn't post a clapback. She didn't need to. She showed up to practice early. She studied film later. She let her game become the rebuttal. And that's when the tension reached its breaking point. Because the next game wasn't just another matchup. It was a referendum. Every whistle, every call, every broadcast narrative would be scrutinized under a new lens. Are they still trying to control this? And then it happened. A play so blatant, so undeniable, that even the most neutral commentators couldn't spin it. A veteran defender, frustrated by Caitlin's movement, delivered a hit that wasn't basketball. It was a message. The crowd gasped. The referees hesitated. And in that pause, you could feel the entire league holding its breath. Because this wasn't just a foul. This was the pattern made visible. And the reaction would determine everything. But what happened next wasn't just a technical foul. It was a spark. And that spark was about to ignite a fire that no front office, no media narrative, no veteran clique could contain. That foul wasn't just physical. It was symbolic. And the moment the referee finally blew the whistle, the arena didn't just react. It erupted. Fans rose as one. Not in anger, in recognition. This was the moment the mask slipped. This was the pattern live, in HD, undeniable. And Caitlin? She didn't flinch. She didn't argue. She just nodded, like she'd been waiting for this exact moment. Because sometimes, the clearest truth isn't spoken. It's shown. What happened next wasn't basketball. It was poetry. On the very next possession, Caitlin crossed half court, drew 3 defenders, and launched a no-look dime so precise, so surgical, it didn't just assist a basket. It dissected the entire narrative. The crowd didn't cheer. They roared. Not for the points, for the statement. You can't stop this. And that's when the dam broke. Teammates who had watched silently all season suddenly found their voices. Defenders played with a new edge. The Fever weren't just playing a game anymore. They were leading a movement, and the broadcast couldn't cut away. Because every camera angle told the same story. The old guard was losing control. Social media didn't just react. It exploded. Clips of that sequence went viral in seconds. Memes, edits, side-by-sides flooding every platform. The hashtag #LetThemPlay trended globally. Former players, analysts, even celebrities weighed in. But the most powerful voices weren't the famous ones. They were the fans. The ones who'd been told they were overreacting. The ones who'd been called bandwagoners. Now, they weren't just watching. They were testifying. And their testimony was undeniable. We saw it. We felt it. And we're not backing down. The aftermath wasn't quiet. It was seismic. League offices issued vague statements about competitive integrity. Media outlets scrambled to reframe the conversation. But the narrative had already shifted. Forever. Because Lisa Leslie didn't just expose a problem. She empowered a solution. And the solution wasn't a press conference. It was a community, a fan base, a player who refused to break, and a legend who finally said, enough. So where does this leave us? Not an ending, at a beginning. Because this wasn't about one rookie, or one interview, or one foul. This was about who controls the story. And for the first time in a long time, it's not the executives. It's not the media. It's not the veterans protecting their throne. It's the people who actually love the game. The ones who show up. The ones who speak up. The ones who refuse to let politics overshadow passion. That's why fans ride so hard for this team. That's why they defend Caitlin not just as a player, but as a symbol. Because she represents something bigger than basketball. She represents the moment the audience said, "We see you. We know what you're doing, and we're not clicking away. This isn't just a season, it's a reckoning. And if you felt that tension, that outrage, that hope, you're not just a viewer anymore. You're part of the movement.